Hello and welcome to your practice today. Today's class will be focused on core. Keeping core engagement through our physical practice is very important. It's also important to protect the low back. Through this pregnancy especially, I've been feeling a lot of low back pain, so I've been grabbing for things to strengthen my core, strengthen the base of support, our center of gravity. So we'll just find ourselves cross-legged, begin to close down through the eyes, starting to focus on the breath. Maybe even focusing our attention to that low back or that core space. Even create a subtle engagement as we're breathing through our Ujjayi breath. Controlled and strengthened through the core. This practice today is also a wonderful practice to engage the 3 lower chakras, the root, sacral, and solar plexus chakra. They're all very intertwined and located through the abdominal pelvic floor. So keeping that core engaged here as we start to gently move through the spine. Inhale, lifting the heart up towards the ceiling. Lift the chin. And as we exhale, slightly begin to round out the low back. Now we're not making big movements here. Just beginning to humble the chin, tucking it towards the chest. Engage through the core. Inhale to roll the chest forward. Shine the heart, open through the throat. And exhale to humble. Engage the core, sucking the navel towards the spine. Let the breath guide these movements here, just remaining in a nice, subtle, easy wave-like motion through the spine. Feeling maybe the low back here, traveling up into the mid and upper spine as you inhale, shining the heart, and exhaling when you round. So you have the chin bowed towards the chest. And begin to blink the eyes open, noticing first your feet and legs on the mat. And letting more light in, widening the eyes. As you inhale, guide the right shoulder, the right chest over to the right knee. Inhale, heart through center towards the left knee. And as you hit that left knee, begin to exhale and round out the spine, rolling back towards the right knee as you inhale to open the chest. Getting a little more mobility here. Exhale to round through the spine. Just beginning to wake up the body. Rotating in the opposite direction, rounding when you hit right knee, opening at left, shine the heart forward. Pause here at midline, root through the sit bones. Lengthen nice and tall through the spine. Bring the hands to heart center. Engage through the core. And active in this pose here, actively pressing the hands together. Find 2 more breaths. Full, deep, complete breath. And just notice maybe how the low back, how this core is feeling. Release, hands down to the legs. We'll make our way into our tabletop position. This flow today is going to engage the core, but we're going to move a little bit gently today, offering this class to all levels, for pregnancy, for low back support, rooting into all 10 finger pads, and be sure to integrate that thumb into the mat space. Let's send the left leg out behind us and just keeping the left toes to the mat space. Inhale, we'll raise the heel up towards the ceiling. Toes stay flexed. And exhale to release. Focus on the low back. Focus on that core engagement like we're lifting the low back towards the ceiling. Inhale. And exhale to release the toes. Continuing here, inhale. Exhale to release. Inhale to lift, sending the right leg off to the right side of the mat space. Let's lift that left arm up. Getting a side plank variation. Engage through the core, and then we'll send the left arm up overhead. Choosing to stay here, or as you exhale, you can bring knee to elbow, crunch into the side body. Inhale to lengthen, 2 more. See how slowly you can move through the body here. Really engage the core. Just 1 more stretch, long open through the rib cage. Engaging balance, and exhale to engage the core. Inhale, sending the arm and leg nice and far apart from each other, find length. And exhale back to our tabletop position. Checking wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, root into the hands. Let's send the right leg behind us. Keeping the right toes to the mat space. Find that lift of the low back up towards the ceiling. That core engagement, navel to spine. Inhale, lifting right heel to the sky. Exhale to release. Inhale, lift. Exhale to release. Again, we'll just move slowly like we're moving through butter or silk. This time as we lift the right leg, we'll send the left leg off as our support to the left side, reaching the right arm up overhead. Flexing through the right toes, active through the right fingertips. Inhale the right arm up overhead. Exhale, maybe taking your crunch. Knee and elbow meet at midline. Inhale, find length. Exhale. Inhale, length. Exhale to side crunch, engage those obliques. Inhale to straighten and finding our way to our tabletop position. Keeping the knees on the mat space, let's walk the hands forward, finding our way to a half plank pose. Pressing into the fingertips, lift up the spine towards the ceiling, engage the core. Let's hold here for 3 breaths. And on your exhale, you can begin to bend at the elbows. Let's lower all the way down to the belly. And just taking a very tiny baby cobra here. Lift just the chest up, keeping the chin tucked, the neck nice and long. And exhale to release, pressing through tabletop, toes together. Let's find a child's resting pose. In our child's pose here, we'll wiggle out the fingers. Maybe roll out the wrists just gently. Inhale to find our tabletop position. Option to just take a knee down plank variation, or we'll pop up to our full plank. Holding here for 3 breaths. Engage the core, lift the low back up so we're not dipping the hips towards the mat. We're nice and strong and engaged, flat spine. We're going to pivot towards the pinky toe side of the left foot, finding our side plank. Left hand stays down, right arm lifted. Hold here, 3 breaths. If you've taken a knee down variation, our option here is to take a knee down side plank, just as we did at the beginning of our practice. Exhale through midline. Hold, engage the core in our plank pose. Option to release to the knees. 3 breaths. The gaze is steady on the mat space. Feel the breath rolling through the body. Remembering still to breathe in these more challenging poses, pivoting over to our side plank, right side. And the breath helping to keep that core engaged, lift the hips to the ceiling. And exhale, release through plank, hips send up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up behind you. And exhale to guide the right knee towards the nose as you shift forward to plank. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, rounding in. Inhale to send it back behind you. Exhale to round in, hold. Inhale, 3-legged down dog, and exhale to release the right toes. Lifting up the left leg, sending it high, and exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, the leg is long, 3-legged down dog. Exhale, we round. Last one. Hold, engage the core. 3-legged down dog. Left toes release, knees to mat, child's pose. Using this time to sigh out through the mouth. We'll pull ourselves back up to our downward facing dog. And then beginning to tiptoe to the top of our mat. Root to rise when you're ready. And reaching the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. So the second part of our practice here, we'll be working into our core engagement through our balancing. Of course, in any balancing pose, the core is one of the main focuses. The main thing that can keep us nice and stable is to really locate that center point. Engage those lower chakras, those bandhas, rooting into the feet. And we'll start on the tiptoes of the right foot. We can bring the hands just to the hips or to heart center. And we'll step that right toes just a little bit in front of the left. On an inhale, let's raise the right knee up parallel to the hip. And exhale to lower. Moving with control. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale to lower. As we inhale and lift this time, option to straighten through the right leg. Flexing the toes towards the body. And if you need to release the heel closer to the mat, just find that engagement in the core. So we're not dipping the low back forward, but we're actually nice and stacked just above the shoulders. Bending at the right knee, knee parallel to hip. With the right hand, let's just rest it to the right knee, and then start to stretch the left arm behind you. Now it may not reach directly behind you, it may be more out to the side. As long as we can keep that engagement, we're not twisting or causing pain to the lumbar spine. Inhale forward. Arms can reach through a T, open through the chest, feel the core, and exhale to release. Widen the stance with the hips. We'll just make little figure eight rotations through the hips. And let go of any of that tension that we were holding. Before we find the other side, rooted with the feet only hip width distance apart. Tiptoes of the left foot. Locate the core engagement. Roll the shoulders back so the shoulders are nice and stacked over the hips. Inhale, we lift. Exhale to toe tap. Lift on your breath in. Allowing yourself to move with the breath, but also slowing and smoothing out that breath so the movement becomes a little more intentional. We're focusing on all those tiny little muscles and that core focus. Sending that left leg out in front of you. Flexing the toes again, choosing where you can stay so that you still feel the core and you're not compromising in the low back. Bend at the left knee, picking it up so it's parallel to the hip. Left hand to left knee, and then we'll just twist gently behind us. Inhale back through center and exhale to release. Again, you can widen the stance, either taking those figure eights or any other motions that the back body or the core is kind of calling out for. Then we'll root feet hip width apart, toe tap the right foot. Again, inhale, let's lift. Maybe if the hands were at the hips, maybe take them to heart center. Exhale to release. Inhale. Exhale. Lift and release. This time sending the right leg straight out again. Engage that core. Maybe it's lifted a little bit higher. Bending at the right knee. This time we're going to grab left hand to right knee and we're going to twist over to the right side. It's taking a little bit of a deeper twist, still to protect that low back. Inhale through midline and exhale to release. Shake it out. And finding our stable mountain pose. toe tapping the left side. And inhale to lift. Choosing our arm variation, maybe matching the same one we did on the other side. Inhale, we lift. Exhale to lower. Sending the left leg out in front of you as we lift. Engage core. Exhale to bend at the left knee. Right hand, left knee. Take your gentle twist. Gazing back over that left shoulder in that direction. Inhale through midline and exhale to release. Coming to the tiptoes of the right foot. This time, let's find external rotation, sliding the right foot either to the ankle, the shin, or up into the inner thigh. Let's find our tree pose. And for this tree pose, let's really focus our awareness. You can even rest the hands to that abdominal space today. Broaden through the chest. Trying to stay here for 5 to 7 breaths. Maybe you'd like to send the arms up overhead. Rooting down through the left sole of the foot, but lifting with the fingertips up towards the sky. When you are ready on the side, beginning to humble the hands through heart center, releasing the right foot, and we'll jump right into the left side. Tiptoes of the left foot, external rotation, and sliding the sole of the foot to the ankle, shin, or inner thigh. If you started with the hands on the belly, I invite you to do so on this side as well. Bring the shoulder blades together to touch in the back body. Maybe just notice how the core has to engage, has to shift a little bit to support us. The arms can extend overhead when you're ready. Soft in the gaze, our drishti, our one focal point. Just as you did so on the other side, slowly with control, the hands can meet, fall to heart space, and releasing the left foot. Stepping to the top of our mat, mountain pose. And in mountain pose, we want to stay nice and engaged. Engaged through the calves, the quads, the glutes. Tilting the tailbone down to the mat. Protect the low back, engage the core. This pose is active, as if a gust of wind were to blow through here. You would not waver, you would not move. Inhale, sending the arms overhead. And exhale to fold forward. Half lift, inhale. Exhale to fold, planting hands, finding our plank. We'll lower through either a knee down cobra or a chaturanga, up dog. Meeting in the downward facing dog, and eventually allowing yourself to find child's pose. Taking the knees nice and wide. Let the third eye space rest to the mat. Rounding and releasing the low back. Rounding over the legs. Finding the fingertips, and we'll walk the hands over to the right side of the mat, the right corner. Stretching right side body and all the way into that low back. And play with picking the left hand up, just keeping the finger pads on the mat. Maybe that deepens the stretch for the left side body. And releasing, walking the hands over to the left side of the mat. Forehead planting. And if you did so on the other side, find the finger pads of the right hand. Back through center. Inhale to tabletop. And just make our way to a seated position. Sending the legs forward. Just finding the soles of the feet to the mat. Then we'll bring the hands back behind us. Finding that sweet spot that we can balance. And just beneath the tailbone and above the sit bones. Roll the shoulders back and together, lifting the chin. Inhale, let's lift the right toes up off the mat. Exhale to release. Inhale, left toes, left foot up off the mat. And release. Inhale, right. Just moving here from side to side. Moving slow, smooth, controlled. You can lift the feet up a little bit higher each round, maybe even straightening into the knees just slightly. Next time both soles of the feet hit the mat space, we're going to lift the palms up, facing towards the ceiling. And as we tilt back, engaging our core, we might just float the feet up off the mat. They can stay rooted as well, but we can also play with straightening through the legs, trying to hold for 3 to 5 breaths at our deepest engagement. And as you release the feet, nice and wide, hands to knees, it's round forward. Letting the head hang between the knees, even rocking from side to side. Shifting forward on the mat space, let's roll down to the back body, keeping soles of the feet to the mat, heels come tight towards the sit bones. Guiding the shoulder blades beneath the body, palms to the mat space. Inhale, pressing up to our bridge pose. Engaging glutes, engaging core. Exhale to release one vertebra at a time. Melt the low back down towards the earth. Soles of the feet come together and the knees out wide. Reaching the arms up towards the ceiling, and we'll stack right hand over left. Inhale, let's lift the shoulders, maybe even the mid back up off the mat. And exhale, we'll kiss the shoulder blades back down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Lift. Release. Last one. Lift, hold. We can pulse from here if you'd like a little more. And exhale to release. Soles of the feet to the mat, knees high to the sky. Shoulder blades beneath the body, palms to mat space. Inhale, lift, bridge pose. Focus on the rise and fall of the belly. Lowering out of this pose with much control, one vertebra at a time. Soles of the feet together, knees out wide. The opposite hand on top. Inhale to lift. Exhale to release. Inhale, lift. We're going for 5. Release. That's 2. 3 as you lift. We'll find 4. Engage the core. Exhale, release. Inhale, 5. Hold. Pulse option here. Pulsing from where you've lifted to. Feel that core. Pressing the low back into the mat. And exhale to release. You can take the arms wide through a T. The knees can stay nice and wide, opening through the hips. You can bring the soles of the feet to the mat space. Keeping the low back to the mat, or the legs out long, whichever variation here, and begin to close down the eyes. Let the breath sigh out through the body. Let the core be soft, rising with the breath in. Soften with the breath out. Starting to release tension through the whole physical body. As if with each exhale, you begin to get a little bit heavier. Encouraging you to stay in a Shavasana, to stay focusing to the breath, or focusing to the abdomen, the low back, and the 3 correlating chakras. And staying for 10 to 15 breaths. Allowing the body to absorb all the benefits from the sequence. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.